Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. Allow me to be the first to welcome you in to episode 393 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. And no, we are not going on this voyage alone tonight, my friends. We've got a lineup of co-hosts and guests that are absolutely going to blow your socks off, baby. So, before we get into the sponsors, before we get into all the chicanery and shenanigans that we're going to be getting into tonight, allow me to welcome in the first man that's going to be joining me during tonight's broadcast. The one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Dynamo Pro Wrestling, DJ Big Sexy STL, Chris Road Dog Rodell.
Well, hello, my friend. How are you?
Pasa, que pasa, que pasa. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like it's been forever since I've hosted the show. Let me tell you something, man. I couldn't have picked a better day to be back on the show. What an absolutely spectacular lineup of talent we've got for today's show, Rodell.
I know we got two big guests, Tyler Bodine, and someone that's I'm gonna tune in definitely the second hour with Luke Langley. He made some waves this weekend over in the KC area at Journey Pro Wrestling.
Did he ever? My goodness, that boy went straight savage mode.
Right, he's super kicked. I guess is that the owner or the promoter or somewhat of Journey Pro? I mean, you can't just be kicking promoters like that. I mean,
just basically kick the dog shit out of Walter. Yes, it was what you would come to expect from a man who has decided to align himself with the Monarch, Jeremy Wyatt. We'll be getting into that. We'll be getting into that, though.
Yeah.
During the second hour, bro, Luke Langley's going to join us. We're going to have a spectacular interview with him. Before we go any further on the guests and stuff like that, Big Sexy, what the hell have you been up to, bro? I see your Dynamo Pro logo rocking big time. I know you see my Lumberjack shirt.
Lumberjacks for Life, just inducted into the Missouri Midwest Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame this past weekend. We had Luke Roberts, Skywalker. He represented the Wrestle Talk podcast at the show. So, and it was a great time. A little bit of sadness with the sudden passing of Carl Lauer and then remembering Izzy Blackwell and Pimpin' Al Blundy. So it was kind of an emotional roller coaster from what I hear.
Well, and the crazy thing is, the members of the Wrestle Talk family may or may not know this, but Carl Lauer was scheduled to join us on the show just a couple of weeks ago, and we weren't able to get the technology part of it figured out, Road Dog.
Right.
So he didn't join us. We were working on the reschedule, and then bam, unfortunately, man, we lost a legend in the Midwest Pro Wrestling game. RIP to our guy, Carl Lauer, and his beautiful family. I really wish we could have got him on that day because we would have been the last to ever interview him. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition, but you knew that we had his respect because he's not a kind of guy to do a lot of interviews, and he was going to come on the show again. It was just one of those technological issues that kind of got in the way, man.
Mr. Cauliflower Alley Club is what they called him.
Mr. CAC.
But I'm going to tell you, this weekend, it's going to be a great weekend for Dynamo Pro. I wish you were up here in the St. Louis area because we got Cinco de Mayo. We are back at the Cinco de Mayo festival Saturday afternoon. It is an all-day festival with tacos and street corn and margaritas and wrestling and lucha libre. And just it's going to be a great afternoon of action. We started.
Oh, what you mean? I was at the first one, dog.
Yeah,
I was at the very first one. There was all my gente, all my people, mi familia. They were out on the street.
It's such a great time. I tell you, it is a great time. People coming together, having margaritas and cervezas and stuff like that. Just having a good old time, enjoying some wrestling. Hopefully, it'll pray for a beautiful day. We pray for that beautiful day that's going to be happening. And we actually have 4 shows that day: noon, 2, 4, and 6. And the best, you'll love the price.
It's an evil gym for a reason. Only an evil person would throw 4 shows in one day when it's hot as Arizona in good old St. Louis.
But it's got the best price of all. Free $99.
Free 99?
Free 99, no cards, it's open to the public. It's part of the festival. So,
bro, I remember Skywalker doing one of those shows. He ended up being the referee for all 4 shows the very first time, bro. I swear my man lost like 6 pounds that one day. It was out of control. Oh, and shout out to Chris, by the way, on YouTube peeping us out. And our boy checking in from the beautiful city of Topeka, Kansas, the one and only Ref Pinky. Shout out to you guys. You were going to say, Chris?
Oh, I was just gonna say that's not the only time Luke's done that at a festival. We did the Taco Festival, the day of the Blues, the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup Parade. We were at a Taco Festival in Union Station. It was just it was a random Taco Festival that rolled through town. It happened to be on the Blues parade. Had a great time. He did almost 20. I believe he almost did 20 matches in 90 degree heat.
My man does not look like he's got the cardio for that. But hey, if he did it and you were there for it, then I got to take you at your word. Take you at your word.
He was pretty worn out after. I don't know how he got home. I don't know how he drove home. I think his wife might have been there that day too. But it was hot. It was a fun day. So,
well, speaking of hot, Rodell, we got to get into it, baby, because it's not a Wrestle Talk podcast without us fulfilling our tradition. And you know what that tradition is, man? That is paying homage to the greatest country on God's green earth. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Wrestle Talk Podcast National Anthem. Wow. Well, there it is, ladies. Oh, not again. Please, not again. There you are, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestle Talk Podcast National Anthem. We're going to get into the sponsors here momentarily, but Rodell, I've got another special guest that I want to bring on, okay? Ooh. And then, shortly thereafter, my permanent host for the evening should be joining us. The one and only, the illustrious, the president of professional wrestling, Richard Douglas, will be joining us. Before you go, though, Rodell, any final thoughts for the faithful of the Wrestle Talk podcast and the pro wrestling community in general?
I just want everyone to give Dick Douglas as much trouble as you can because he was booed out of the Concordia Turner's Hall again. I say again. He threatened to kick some people out again. You know, I mean, he keeps saying that we are. He was mad because he wasn't in the Keon Option Battle Royal. I guess he was told that he was going to be, but he ended up not being in there. I don't know. That's backstage stuff, so I don't deal with that. Shout out to CJ Shine. CJ Shine won the second annual Keon Option Battle Royal. Is the new Dynamo Pro D1 champion. So make sure we give Dick Douglas a whole bunch of trouble. I was just coming in just get things started for you guys, and I'm glad I get to see you. I know we've been talking about hitting a show here soon. Hopefully this summer.
Do that.
Hopefully this summer.
But you know what? I can see the desperation in your face. Did you just tell me that you couldn't hear Roseanne?
I could not hear Roseanne.
Let me see. Let me try it one more time.
Oh no! Don't toward. If the people can hear it, then that's fine.
Can you hear it?
I cannot hear it. It's very low. Okay, it's very low now.
You can hear it, but it's low. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue working on that, guys. I want to make sure that we get the levels right.
Because everyone needs to hear the Roseanne National Anthem.
All right, hold on.
It's a little bit better. It's still low. I don't know. I don't know what.
You said a little bit better?
Just a little bit. Just slightly.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna continue working on that. No worries, baby. Okay.
Oh, apparently the fans could hear it, so
Yeah,
I guess that's all.
let's go.
I was spared, I guess. So
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to talk about
wait,
that during therapy.
wait. One more thing before I go. One of our friends is celebrating a birthday today. He's been on the show before. Okay. He's from the outside the ring podcast here in STL. Our boy, the MMWA commissioner Shaft. Today is his 64th birthday. So happy birthday to Big Shaft.
Shout out to the true legend, baby. Shaft, man. True Midwest pro wrestling pillar. Shaft, also a huge supporter of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Yes, so. every time I go down there, he always says he loves the podcast and he loves the interaction between our podcasts. So I mean, I've gone on his podcast before. So it's wrestling is wrestling. We got to support each other, right?
Absolutely. Well, Rodell, thank you for being here, brother. I really appreciate you helping me hold down the fort for the first few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my next special guest of the evening, bro. You have yourself a great night.
You too, Renee. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Deuces.
All right, there, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Chris Rodell. Still working on the audio issues, guys. Be patient. It's been a few weeks since I've been on. As you guys know, I've had a whole lot going on in my life. So thank you for being patient. I really, truly do appreciate it. Now, before Dick Douglas joins us on the show, I wanted to invite a special individual in, a man who I consider to be a brother, a business partner, and just an overall freaking awesome dude. Now, typically, you guys can hear him every single Thursday at WrestleTalkPodcast.com for the FWWC Tonight podcast. But this week, he decided to pop in for just a moment here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, not only because it's his birthday week, but also because FWWC Year 10 is getting ready to kick off in just a matter of days. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in for just a brief moment, the originator, the creator, the hit administrator of the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, amigos, Dewan Mills.
Salute, salute. Oh, I was almost afraid you wouldn't be able to see it. Can you hear me, Night Owl? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Oh,
are we
loud
good?
And clear, Daddy. Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Cool. I can hear you loud and clear. We're good.
Let's go. I love it.
So here's the deal. So since you said I had to be on the show tonight and I had to put on a shirt, because after 7 p.m. I don't wear a shirt because I'm old. Thanks for the birthday shout out. My birthday was yesterday, 37, all good. But since you said I had to put on a shirt, I wanted to wear a very special shirt. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you kind of see that autograph?
Yeah.
Back in 2013-14, Mick Foley did a comedy show at I want to say he was at a Legends Comedy Club or somewhere, the Improv. And this is a actual legitimate Mick Foley autograph from 2013-14. This is the first time I've worn the shirt since then. It's a little bit tighter, but since we're on the Wrestle Talk podcast tonight, baby, I wanted to go ahead and flaunt it. Since you made me put on a shirt, I'm gonna put on a good shirt. And you talk about gimmicks. What's up, man? Are we doing the lights thing? Is that what's up now? Is it LED?
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Is it LED light now?
Yeah, bro, I got the LED lights, and then shout out to my boys at King K /Retro Zone. So they found some old school wrapping paper. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me go back to the single. They found some old school wrapping paper. So you guys remember the white wall that was behind me before with a few posters here and there? Took it down. Now I got the NWO throwback 19, like I think this is probably 97 wrapping paper that never got used. So here we are, baby, trying to make.
Where did you find that? That's dope.
Yeah, where did you find that? Retro Zone, Old Park Mall. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's how we do it. But anyway, we're not here for that. We're not here for that. Let's move on to business. And it's funny because we've got people inquiring. Dewan Mills, year 10 of the FWWC. What can you tell us? I know there's some you can't tell us, but what can you tell us? Because I hear there's a lot of major changes going on in the FWWC. So share with us in just a brief few moments what we can expect for year 10 in the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion.
Well, what you can expect, number one, is obviously, as stated before, there will be no more brand battles. The brand battle is over. This isn't year 10 of the brand battle. Trust me, the brand battle didn't even go 10 years. What you can expect is from a performance perspective, a little bit more structure when it comes to the matches and things of that nature. It's easy to throw some kind of card together when it comes to fantasy wrestling and pit people against each other. But as they always say in the world of professional wrestling or whatever we're doing, it has to make sense, or at least it has to kind of make sense. And not saying the way that we did things in the past 10 years, because we've been around for 10 years, didn't make sense, but in any business or in any walk of life, not only do you have to grow, you have to get better. So what you can expect is better matches, better storylines, more of a dependable source to go to when it comes to what you want to do or who you want to work with in the FWC, things like that. Because I know that was a complaint for a while. I used to work with this guy. I had like 5 matches with him on Monday. And then we had 3 matches on Friday. And now I'm wrestling with him or I'm in a fantasy match with him again on Sunday. That doesn't make any sense. Those days are gone. No repeat matches. If we can help them, help it. And every storyline, every person involved will have a source to go to. It's going to make sense. And I know you and myself, Night Owl, are working diligently hard trying to make it better.
Right, absolutely. And let me just say, and this is a tidbit, something that we had not shared before. I'm going to go ahead and break some news here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Let's see if we can get this drop going. Let's see if we can hear it.
Kind of can hear it. I'm not sure if it's because we're on, but I can. There we go. Good.
All right. Did that come across okay?
Came across okay.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of breaking news. And this is for you chumps in the FWWC that don't check out the Wrestle Talk podcast. If you ain't checking out the podcast, you're slipping on your pippin, slacking on your mackin'. Okay?
I like that. I like that.
Okay. So here's the deal. Just one more tidbit. This year, the FWWC will be booked as a traditional professional wrestling promotion. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Take that as you will, members of the FWWC and fans of the FWWC. We're going to book it like an old-fashioned promotion. If you know anything about how an old-fashioned promotion works, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have no idea, ask a friend. But that's it, Dewan. We're going to get into some more details this upcoming Thursday. I don't want to spoil it because I know you got a lot of information you got to drop on the folks. But, bro, how excited are you that we're going from kind of letting the superstars book their own matches with some involvement from the general managers to now having a more traditional booking style? Be brief, be discreet, but tell us how you feel.
I like it. It's new, it's exciting, and I'm ready. That's brief and discreet.
My guy.
What's up, Rodell? I see you, baby. How you doing, sir?
A lot of love.
Straight
man.
up.
Lot of love from
Straight up.
the members of the Wrestle Talk podcast team for Dewan Mills. Well, Dewan, before you go, there's one other bit of business that I wanted to discuss with you, and that has nothing to do with FWWC. This is more of a pro wrestling question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to actually give you the opportunity, because you're always so good at this stuff, to answer our first ever Wrestle Talk podcast fan question of the night. And here it is. This question will be posted throughout the remainder of the evening, and we want to hear feedback from the members of the Wrestle Talk family. Okay? If you have a dope response and we think it's worthy, give me just a second. All right.
Oh, no way.
Sorry. I thought I left it. If you can answer tonight's question of the night, we will ship out to you an NWO lunchbox, fresh off the shelf, still in the packaging, courtesy of our boy Oni and the members of the FWWC. Everyone is eligible. You don't even have to be an FWWC person to answer this question. But there it is, the one. You see it at the bottom of the screen. FWWC, courtesy of FWWC, we're going to be giving away this lunchbox. But the question is, given the choice, what promotion would you go see above all others? Meaning, if I could give you a ticket to go see any pro wrestling show, one night only, VIP seating, everything's paid for, parking, the whole nine, where are you going and why? Go ahead, Dewan. Drop it on us.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom to be specific. And here's why. I've seen pretty much damn near every show in the States. WWE, independent shows, KCXW, Dynamo Pro, Mesa shows. I've never been out of the States to see wrestling. Especially,
we gotta go to Tijuana.
I know. Here's the thing. I was gonna say AAA at first. I was gonna say AAA at first, but I'm a big tradition guy. Pro wrestling is damn near religion in Japan. The respect, the admiration, the culture they have for the wrestlers, and the one thing I noticed specifically as the wrestlers are performing, you can hear a pin drop because they respect the moves. They respect, and what you don't hear, here's how good they are. You really don't hear a lot of calls, do you? You don't hear a lot of John Cena's tag, jump, move. No. In New Japan, it is run like a fine-tooth comb. I'd love to go over to Japan and check out a show over there.
Okay, and by the question by our boy Big Country Matt Stockdale, are we talking past or present? We're talking present. And really the question, and this segment, by the way, is inspired by Dick Douglas. He said, hey, you know what? I need more followers. I need more people donating to my cause. I need more people to buy my propaganda. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a question out there.
At least we're being honest.
Yeah, okay. No, truth be told, it was a great idea. And we were asking the question, bro, because wrestling always kind of goes through a drought immediately after WrestleMania. It's about 2 months, almost 3. Once SummerSlam really starts winding up, that's when people, I think, get back into it. But yeah, the question is today, given one option above all others, which one you go see? And Dewan, believe it or not, my friends, has chosen New Japan Pro Wrestling. Keep those answers coming. If you got something good, we're going to go ahead and give this to you. And Dewan, if nobody can beat your take, you take this thing home, baby. How you like that?
Hey, I'll take it, man. But I will say real quick, this answer doesn't count. But if we were talking about the past, it would have to be a WCW show because I never had the opportunity to go to not one WCW show in my lifetime. Nitro was at Kemper Arena 2 or 3 times. Slamboree 99 was in St. Louis. Never had one opportunity to see WCW live in action. So if I could take it back, blast to the past, I'd go to one of those shows. That's all I got.
Just call my homie Marty McFly, bro. We got you. That's it.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
And we got a couple answers, bro. We'll catch you on the flip side, man. FWWC tonight, every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You already know what it is. Peace. All right, we got a couple of answers coming in. Susie Haas out in the West Virginia area saying Impact Wrestling. Curious to know why that is. Let us know why, Susie. NWA by El Luchador de Kansas City. We got, I would like to see SICW at the GCS ballpark if Kurt Angle would come back and wrestle against Superstar Steve Fender with the late great Harley Race. Okay, Aaron, I love you, buddy, but some of your takes are just way off the wall. I gotta be honest. All right, and yeah, okay, there you go, Susie. We did get you on the Impact deal. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before we bring on our illustrious co-host for the evening, he would call himself the main host or the primary host, but in reality, when you're late, you're the co-host. Before we get there and allow you to continue to answer tonight's question of the night, allow me to remind you guys that the Wrestle Talk podcast would not be where it is without you, the members of the Wrestle Talk family, but without our illustrious sponsors. So allow me to give them a shout out. Everything Combat, Kincaid Arcade, Esports Bar KC, I-70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation. We just talked to the owner just a few minutes ago. Painter's Dream Production. Get Will Perry. Perry's dealing with some back issues. You had to have surgery. We love you, brother. Rathbun Engraving, home of the Wrestle Talk podcast mug. Meat Fiesta KC Party Rentals. Nobleman's Barber Lounge. And, of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. All that said, my friends, let's go ahead and do the damn thing and bring on a man that we have been waiting for almost 30 minutes now. The one and only, folks, the proprietor of the City on the Hill, the one, the only, don't forget to unmute yourself, my friend, the president of professional wrestling, Richard Douglas.
You know, Renee, quite frankly, I want to address something, including my delay of appearance. Well, quite frankly, I don't think the state of Missouri knows how to do road construction very well. And it got so bad that I had to send away my driver, okay, and I had to drive home myself in a rental car, okay? In a rental car.
The Tesla? I'm sorry, you had to rent a Tesla?
It's terrible.
So
it's
sorry,
terrible.
Bro.
But, you know, and I appreciate, I appreciate the pleasantries of president of wrestling, but let's be honest, I want to be president of a television wrestling company. You know, I think that's what our campaign's striving for so elegantly. And, you know, by the way, I would go back to attend an ECW. You know, I think that's a good thing. I think ECW would be a fun one to watch. However, ethically, I don't know if I could be a part of that promotion. You know, I just think it's.
Oh yeah, you're so clean cut and well mannered. Okay, yeah, of course, ECW would not be for you.
No, but it's okay. You know, and by the way, thank you for calling out that just rotten, you know, take earlier. We got to be honest with ourselves if we want to grow, right? I mean, that's just the only way we can do things here, transparently. But how are you? How are you the night?
Well, I'm doing great, and I gotta say, Richard, you contributed quite well. You were somewhat or almost not insufferable in our pre-show meeting last night.
It's true.
And I have to admit, this is a great idea. This Wrestle Talk podcast fan question of the night. I know that you were kind of going back and forth on what you wanted that question to be. You couldn't quite decide on it. It's okay. We'll go ahead and do it again once we're hosting again. But this is what I came up with. And we've already seen a couple of different answers. Impact Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've seen NWA. Let me ask you the same question. Given the opportunity, given one first class, front row, VIP, all expenses paid to any professional wrestling show or promotion, you can only go to one, which one would you choose today and why? I'm very curious.
I'm going to go NWA. And here's why. Because I've been to all the others. And, you know, I like what the NWA is doing. What they did with Power, I thought was going to take off. I really did. I thought it was just set up so well with the way they're streaming. I don't know how they're doing now, but NWA, you got so many legends and so many great talent from the indie scene. You know, I've been to AEW. I've been to a couple of WWE shows. And, you know, those are fun. But for the thrill of just going to watch some good St. Louis style wrestling, that only Dick Douglas knows how to highlight. I would go NWA.
Take it easy. What do you mean you're the only one that knows how to highlight?
Yeah. Have you seen
you ever heard of a guy named Evil Jim Yunt? You ever heard of a guy named Herb Simmons? I mean, come on. Stop that.
Well, I didn't say I was a promoter. Say I was a promoter. Evil Jim and I have worked very well. He's been working with my campaign to get us on in a transparent fashion to highlight some of our platforms. But let's be honest here. I think it'd be great to kind of have that old school feel again and to be front row, to have kind of a night where I bring the staff and we all kind of get a little loaded and blame it on an intern, you know, and watch some good NWA wrestling again. And Chris Rodell, he can boo me all he wants, but let's be honest, he was cheering for me when all of his friends turned their backs. So
this is now the third straight time that you get bullied out of the Concordia Gymnasium. It's the third time in a row. Have you not learned your lesson? You know
no, man. Here's what happened. Did you watch the video last time?
Of course I watched the video.
Here's what happened. For the folks at home, I was getting cheered when I came out to Concordia the first time. But they were so offended by Dynamo Pro's management by not letting me compete in the Key on Option Battle Royal because of, quite frankly, biasness and lobbyists that control the company. That's why they started booing. They were booing Dynamo Pro. They weren't booing me. They were cheering me the entire time.
They were booing Dynamo Pro. Sir, you're a liar and your nose should be growing. Just every word that comes out of your mouth. Bro, I've been to Dynamo Pro. As a matter of fact, I was going to Dynamo Pro shows when you were still in diapers, my guy. And They never would boo Dynamo Pro Wrestling. Yeah, they might boo, Dirty Jake Durden when he's kind of being a jerk. They might boo Steve Fender. They might boo that kind of guy. But they would never boo Dynamo Pro Wrestling. It's blasphemous what you're
Not when
about,
Dick
right?
Douglas is graced in St. Louis wrestling with a
chance to
revitalize
they're booing you. You're the common denominator. I'm trying to tell you that.
We're going to agree to disagree, my friend, on this one. But oh, look at this. Last time I went to an Impact show was interesting. I didn't know they ran in Kansas City very often. Do they, Renee?
I'm not sure. I was not. Hold on. When did I move to Kansas City? I moved to Kansas City in like 2002. So yeah, they may have been running at that time, but to be honest, I probably wasn't. Impact is really not my thing. It's not my thing.
Well, also, can you pull up Susie Haas's comment over here? This defamatory one under Dick Douglas is the best. Listen, I haven't had enough time to start drinking yet, but believe me, after this show, we might do a little bit of drinking with the interns.
Well, you're late to the party.
Amen to that. But I'm just excited. We got two great guests.
How many people did you pay off to comment on tonight's show, bro? I gotta know.
Yeah. Whenever we start to see trends, right? It's the train's rolling now. I knew it'd take a long time. My team said it'd take years. I said, give me 6 months. And all of a sudden, it just started rolling. And now we're here where we're getting ready to take off, folks. Get on board. And by the way, I want to address some things real quick before we go into anything else. The website's being revitalized. We're changing domain names because we need to save wrestling. We don't need to create a city on the hill anymore. We're trying to save wrestling from dying. And that's what this website's going to highlight. The store is getting put into it. Great team working on it. I literally have nothing to do with it, and I think that's for the best. And I'm just told what to say, so keep an eye out on that.
Dude, did you turn all my friends against me?
Look at
this.
What
the hell is going on here tonight?
See what happens. A train is rolling, and by the way, Herb Simmons, good evening to you, sir. I love having a mind like Herb Simmons.
Stop jumping ahead of me on the comments. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh, gee. Okay. You know what?
But how are you, Renee? You seem a little frustrated.
Oh, man. I try to have a great time, bro. And then people come on, and I love the Hall of Famers, bro. But it's night with a K, night owl. You know what? When you're a Hall of Famer, like my boy Andy, you got to give, lumberjacks for life, baby. Congratulations. By the way, let me give a big shout out to all the attendees and the recipients of the Midwest Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. What an incredible moment to have so many legendary people in one place at one time just this week. And, Dick, I'm going to ask you to kind of come out of your comfort zone here a little bit, because I know being genuine and organic doesn't come easily for you. Okay. But we lost Carl Lauer just a few days before he was inducted into the Midwest Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. We lost Carl Lauer just a few days after he was scheduled to be on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Man, we really, really, truly missed a phenomenal opportunity to interview a true legend of Midwest Pro Wrestling. This shouldn't be hard. But Dick Douglas, your thoughts on Carl Lauer, whether you knew him or not. I know you know the name and what he meant to this area. How disheartening was it to know we were this close to getting the very last snippet of Carl Lauer, and due to technological issues, we ended up missing on that opportunity, man. A true heartbreaker.
So I'm glad you asked me about this. And I'm not going to go too much into, a wrestling side of things, but just a life thing, right? So many times not to kind of tell two different stories here, but I know of an individual that was supposed to get a haircut, and all of a sudden his barber fell over, and they were good friends, and they didn't get that chance to say, goodbye or talk. And to miss somebody like Carl Lauer coming on the show because of an untimely passing is just horrendous. But you never know when things are going to change, and that's why it's always best to make sure that you do everything you can in life, because you only get one, and you never know when that day is going to be where your number's called, right, and your music starts to play. So for us to have had that opportunity and it kind of slip away is one that stings, and it's one that we both, Renee, talking about it a few nights or just yesterday during our production meeting. It's tough, and we do. It's one of those things where what more can you do other than just reflect on a great life, and absolutely a great career in professional wrestling. And hopefully for everyone that's, following along or following those stories, reach out. If you're wanting to do something in your life, whether it's for business, whether it's for, you name it, a hobby, you do it, because you never, ever, ever know when it's time. And I'm so I'm so disheartened to know that we couldn't ever get that interview now, but it's just like I said, it's a tremendous loss, and it's something that makes you stop and think more than anything, Renee.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I will tell you this: my favorite interviews, and no disrespect to the current guys or the guys that are up and coming, but my favorite is when we get to talk to like Tracy Smothers or a guy like let me think of John Cosper. These guys that are maybe a little bit up there in age, respectfully, they've got stories to tell for days. Richard, you already know that feeling when you ask someone just one question and they're off and running. You know what I mean? Carl, guys like that. Herb Simmons, another great example of somebody like that. That it's a shame that we've lost. You know how they in sports you'll hear people say that guy forgot more football than I'll ever know.
Right.
Carl Lauer. That guy forgot more wrestling than both you and I combined will ever know.
And that's why I think
it's a devastating loss for the community.
And that's why I think you and I were both so just kind of just torn about it, because we don't do this for our thrill, right? I mean, yeah, it's fun for us to come out here and we, have fun with the guests that we have, but a lot of it's for the fan, right? To learn a little bit more about the true history of wrestling that's so much forgotten about or falsified after so many years because you have to make a record or something fit somebody's mold or whatever you're at. But someone like Carl Lauer, or so many other people like Tracy Smothers that actually know and truly know without having to look on their phone about what they were talking about that day. Someone who just knew in the back of their head, oh yeah, let me tell you about this in 1995, and all of a sudden those stories help us build a path to the future to make sure we don't make the same mistakes again, to make sure we truly evolve. Tough loss. It's one of those things, man, that it's just tough.
Tough loss indeed. A couple of quick comments because we do have the American Outlaw getting ready to join us now. Tyler, I will recommend you prop your phone up somewhere instead of trying to hold it. We got your video. It looks pretty damn solid, man. And as soon as you're ready, we'll be ready to go as well. All right. So quick comment here from Sunny Money. Like I always say, you never know when you're going to have to pay the big bar tab. And then, of course, thank you, Italia for life. Okay, it's just you putting over.
Well, I was responding to Sonny for calling you a bum.
He called me a bum.
Oh, he basically did.
Mike Schmidt is a bum. Joel Embiid is a bum.
He said, know your place. He said, know your place, Renee. How dare you raise your voice to Mr. Douglas? And
for
this
that, is my show. I'll raise my voice whatever the hell I want. This is America, Jack. You forgot? Oh, yeah, that's right. You missed the national anthem, remember? You missed it.
I'm sorry. Oh, say
America, Jack. Don't forget it.
I'm glad I'm here now, Renee. That's all I can say.
Whatever, man. There it is. That's right. You're privileged. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to introduce our first featured guest of the evening. That's right, man. There's a lot of outlaws out there. There's some Mexican outlaws like Pancho Villa. There's some Chinese, Japanese, Middle Eastern outlaws. But there's nothing like an American outlaw, Daddy. Welcoming in for the very first time to the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 393, the Night Owl, Dick Douglas. Welcome in the one and only, the American Outlaw, Tyler Bodine.
How you guys doing?
Renee, we can't hear that on our end, I don't think. Oh, has he figured it out yet? Can you hear that, Tyler, at all?
No, I can't hear nothing.
Renee, we can't hear it on our end.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. I just jammed out all on
we could have played along in like the Emperor's New Clothes.
You could have just done it with you. Well, it's been going in and out, but we did have some sick-ass outlaw country for you. I promise we'll hit you with it the next time. Tyler, welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast, bro. What an honor to have you here with us tonight, man. What's up?
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. It's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to be on you guys' show for a long time, and I appreciate the opportunity. So thank you.
No, the pleasure is really all ours, bro. First question right off the bat. Who is that in the background? You got you a cute puppy back there.
Yeah, I got two of them. I got a boxer and my Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah, bro. You're rolling deep, huh? I like
Jinx,
it.
Renee.
That's
Yep.
dope, man. Well, I'm a dog lover myself. You're a cat guy, right, Richard?
Is that a sly joke about my relations outside of wrestling, Renee?
I don't know. Take it as you will.
I will.
I mean,
No,
I mean,
actually, I have a pig. I have a pet pig like
Gosh, you
Alexa
guys are
Bliss.
out of control, bro. So, Tyler, real quick, man, what the hell you been up to? You're a busy guy. You're all over the state of Kansas. You're all over the state of Missouri. You're all over the damn place, man. Bring us up to speed, bro.
yeah, for sure. So actually, I mean, I'm based out of Illinois, but I wrestle more in other states than actual Illinois. I go all over Missouri with New Breed Wrestling. I'm in. It's been a few months since I've been to Kansas. I'm hoping to go back there soon. I go out to Nebraska quite a bit. I'm pretty much all over the Midwest. I mean, I've wrestled in every state in the Midwest but Iowa. I don't know why. I just haven't knocked off Iowa yet, but yeah, no, I pretty much go all over, man. I just debuted with a new company in this past weekend in Missouri. Hopefully, hoping to get to eventually get to Dynamo and MWA eventually too. So.
Very, very nice. Well, we love the fact that you're traveling. And isn't that just the weirdest thing, Mr. Douglas, how you sometimes if you live in a state, you work in a state, typically the booking will take off quicker in other states. And personally, I think it's like a scriptural thing. I mean, I don't, this isn't a Christian podcast or anything like that, but if you read it, it's, Jesus wasn't accepted in his hometown. He had to go other places. So it's very true in pro wrestling, and really, I've heard it to be the case in music as well. What do you think about, Richard?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I was getting ready to say the same thing, man. I mean, you look where I'm at on the bluffs here at Alton. How many times have I gotten, added by a local company and still, just something's not there yet, or there's, it's not the right time. But all I can say is this, Renee, about this current thing with, I hear him mention you here in Dynamo Pro and MMWA. If you ever stop into Dynamo, you have a place right next to me in the locker room, just right next to me. I don't want anyone to get on to you. And that way, maybe, you never know what could work out, Renee. But first of all, I just want to
try to act like a big shot, okay? Stop trying to act like a big shot.
I was talking about for my sanity. I was talking about for my sake. You know what it's like when people are trying to beat you up all the time or trying to hurt you?
Well, the American Outlaw is the guy you want on your side if people are trying to beat your ass. Now, personally speaking, I think you got it coming. But that's just the night owl. That's how I
feel. Tyler, let me ask you about traveling out of state. How, have you, and maybe just for me being a little bit more naive, have you had the chance to work in front of your home crowd yet?
Yeah, I every once in a while I'll work close to home. But it's usually once in a great while. The shows are supposed to be once a month, but they've had to cancel the last few of them. But I enjoy. I mean, my favorite place to wrestle is in the state of Missouri. I don't know why, because I'm a diehard Cubs fan, and they hate me down there in St. Louis. But no, I really enjoy wrestling. It's probably between there and Kansas are definitely my two favorite places to wrestle at.
Okay. Let me interject because I'm about to blow your mind, Outlaw. So you never met a motherfucker who could do what the Night Owl could do. Let me explain to you why. And by the way, this is internet radio. You can say what the hell you want to say.
That was fucked up to use that word, Renee. That was.
I don't give a fuck. How about that? No, all right. I got Ozzie Smith to sign a Sammy Sosa jersey, bro.
Get out. Get the hell out.
No cap, 100%. Joe Carter and Ozzie Smith at a celebrity softball game at the T-Bone Stadium. I forget what they're called now. Are they the Monarchs now? I think it's Kansas City Monarchs. But, dude, Ozzie Smith, the Cardinal. Probably it's like Ozzie, Pujols, McGuire, Carpenter. What? There's a couple of St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, Yadi Molina. Okay, listen, I'm just talking about history, right?
It's okay.
I'm talking about the 5 that would never, ever sign a Cubs jersey, bro. I'm going to show you next time I see you at a show. I'm going to bring the jersey and show you, bro. Ozzie Smith signed a Cubs jersey, and it was mine, and no, y'all can't have it.
That could be funny. Because that's very rare that something like that happens.
It's like Michael Jordan signing a fucking Knicks jersey. You know what I mean? Or like a Lakers jersey. Like, it would never happen. You know what I mean? Especially not another player. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I thought that was a dope.
sharing blasphemy on our airwaves after using profanity. That's okay. I gotta. So Tyler, real quick, let me jump in here because you mentioned a couple of states already, and Iowa still being the lone Midwest state that you haven't been able to work in yet, but it's coming, obviously. Maybe we can caucus there during a midterm or a primary season,
I'm
together.
in.
But anyway, I have to ask you the differences between states because just going into I'm year 2. Actually into working match or having matches and all these things, I've noticed that fans and people in general interact differently with wrestlers in different states. Would you be able to share maybe some of the differences between maybe a Nebraska and a Missouri and maybe not, I'm not trying to shit on Nebraska or anybody, but maybe what those differences are?
I'll get to that in a second. I don't know who this Sunny Money is though, but yeah. My favorite thing to do is piss off people, so I knew I did something right.
Amen.
That's what Scotty paid you to do, bro.
Right, exactly.
Hell yeah.
But no, so yeah, the fans in Missouri are totally different than the fans in Nebraska or even Kansas for that matter. Missouri, like that. I mean, I'm from Illinois, so I mean, I can easily just talk shit about the St. Louis Cardinals and get heat.
That's easy, yeah.
In Missouri. So. But then when I go to Nebraska, I mean, half the people in the crowd don't have any teeth in their mouth. So, I mean, it's totally different. So.
That's why we're trying to add healthcare to the fan section of certain wrestling venues because they need it too,
Hey, some fans definitely need some good dental healthcare because, I mean, they either need dentures or just no teeth at all because they probably have about 2 or 3 in their whole mouth.
Hey, but at least their intelligence level matches their teeth count, though, right?
Yeah, they don't have very many. I mean, I've seen literally the dumbest fans are from either St. Louis, Missouri, or Lincoln, Nebraska.
I'll go with Lincoln on this one because my campaign needs to save St. Louis right now. But yeah, no, totally. So when you're going out and feel free to stop me, whatever. When you're going out and you're interacting with, fans or whatever, and they're giving you what, the business or whatever, and they're telling you how they feel, what is your best approach in handling the hecklers, handling the fans that just want to kind of almost, in a way, kind of just, make it for themselves? How do you handle that?
Well, I mean,
speaking of heckling, by the way, it looks like it's happening right now.
What the hell?
I'm a co-host of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Some respect on my name. Hey, Sunny Money, bro, listen. We all know that you got about as much of a chance of getting over here as the 76ers have of beating the Miami Heat.
Tyler,
shut your damn mouth.
We got to respect the heart.
Respect the heart.
Sunny Money guy. Like, what kind of name is that? He probably don't have any balls in there either in his wife's purse or his girlfriend's purse.
His real name's probably Steven or something.
Sounds like a ballless wonder.
You know what, Sonny? I got your back just because you put Renee in his place earlier.
Screw you,
just off screen. Just off screen.
But no,
fans
are very different. Even like in Missouri itself. Like I wrestled in like New Breed runs different towns, and even the different town, people from different towns are totally different. Like we can run in like Hickville, USA in Missouri, and them guys are hardcore wrestling fans, and then we run in a town that is more, I don't want to say upper class because there ain't nothing about Missouri upper class, but I mean more so than the that are just different. I mean I've had my
there
thing
goes like half our viewership.
My goal every night is to get I'm gonna kill you or I'm gonna shoot you, and if I get a death threat, I know I did my job right.
Amen. How do you feel about maybe you're a bigger guy and a lot bigger than I am anyway. I've always been a fan because I'm like you. I like to say what's on my. I'm honest with the crowd, like I think you are, and they need to hear the truth sometimes. Do you think that there should be a security detail around us? Because I keep pushing for it.
Come on, he's an American Outlaw. He don't need no.
You never know. I mean, he's a big guy, but
soft like you, boy.
I don't. I've been pushed. I've been, spit on it. It is what it is. I just kind of laugh it off. I mean, if they want to step in the ring, it's fair game. Then they're getting ass whooping.
That's right.
Okay, hold on. So I got a question. So I'm curious, and I've always wondered this, and I don't think I've ever asked this question on the show. Believe it or not, Tyler, kudos to us. We're a few episodes away from episode 400. We've been doing this for a little bit. So I've never asked this question before. You being as great as you are and as antagonizing the fans, does it ever hurt you or bother you that it affects your bottom line? Because we all know that typically baby faces sell the merch. Now, not always, but I know that that's a part and a source of revenue for guys that are working on your side of the line, so to speak. Or have you managed to kind of cross over that hurdle? Because I know a lot of guys that have managed to cross over that hurdle. And even though the crowd boo the shit out of you, they still want to buy your shit at intermission. So have you been able to kind of cross that hurdle? Because that's pretty dope.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. I mean, I literally have people call me everything but a white guy, and then we'll come to the merch table. Hey, good match, and buy my merch. I'm like, I mean, and
that's respect, man.
I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I mean, I literally they could hate my guts 1 minute and then be buying my shirt the next. Hey, as long as they're paying me money, I don't care what they call me.
Take it. You've probably been called worse too. So shit.
Exactly.
I like that. That's respect, man. I always admire, and Dick Douglas falls into this category as well, when you're so good at what you do that they love to hate you. Can you relate to that, Douglas? They love to hate you. It's not something everyone can pull off. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Exactly. No, and I love working the crowd. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I mean, I'm pretty good at what I do. I mean, I can get people to hate me, or I can get old grandma to love me. I prefer people to hate me, but I mean, on the flip side, I can also be everybody's hero too. So
that's freaking badass, man. Having that sort of versatility really is a game changer. And Richard, I don't know if you had a question here, but I do have another quick one. So talk to us about this American Outlaw persona. You got the bull rope, cowboy hat, the vest. Considering you hail from the state of Illinois, do you have like an affinity for kind of that Western outlaw thing? Because I'm going to tell you personally, bro, my favorite movie ever is Tombstone. So for me, when I see a guy that's playing a character of an American outlaw, I'd immediately gravitate to it. That's why Stone Cold's my favorite wrestler of all time and not Eddie Guerrero, even though I'm Mexican. Like that American outlaw thing, man, it just resonates with me, bro. So you got to talk to me about that.
You're Mexican? I had no idea.
100%. Look. You see back here? So I got my American flag, and then right next to it, check that out.
I hear you. No, I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah. What? Just because I don't have a little bit of free fried greens on my chin, that doesn't mean I'm not Mexican now? Come on, dog. I am drinking Morelos. Does that help?
What's your shoot? Is your shoot job landscaping?
No, bro. I'm a dishwasher.
Oh man, you gotta step up in the world, man.
I got you. Nah, bro. Nah. I just stand outside Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? They pick me up. They're like, just talking shit, man. Just talking shit. But anyway, yeah, man. So the American Outlaw thing, bro. Talk to us about that, man. Was it like a movie? Was it like where you grew up? Talk to us about that.
I mean, I grew up idolizing Hulk Hogan and Stan Hansen, and I don't have a Hulk Hogan figure. I mean, I have the burly backwoods outlaw. I'm gonna go in the bar, knock your head against the bar stool, and leave. I mean, I idolize Hulk Hogan, but then I also idolize Stan Hansen, and Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody literally beat the hell out of each other. So I more so went towards the outlaw.
Rest in peace to both of them, man. Rest in peace to both of them.
Well, I mean, and one of my signature moves is a Hogan leg drop.
That's a big old leg.
Yeah.
I bet you make it look better though.
I do.
Yeah,
I love it.
Swagger, baby. Let's go.
I wish I made as much money as Hulk Hogan did.
That's coming.
That's all of us.
But no, and then the American Outlaw. Actually, one of my best friends who isn't wrestling no more, but him and I went through the same training class with Mustafa Ali. He owns a derby demolition derby company, and his product is called the American Outlaw Derbies. And
cool.
I actually asked him, I'm like, hey, man, can I have your permission to use the American Outlaw? And he said, yes. So literally there's only 2 people that are allowed to use the American Outlaw slogan, me being one of them, and him who actually owns his company.
Oh, that's bad as shit. That's
Yeah.
bad as shit right there. That's respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's real respect. And by the way, I can see the Stan Hansen vibes. Like I can see that in your character, bro. That's just
I mean, I will watch Stan Hansen tapes for hours just to, perfect, because I want to try to be as close to him as possible and try to perfect what he did.
Let me jump in on this, just because I want to piggyback off the Stan Hansen thing. So many times you get guys that are new to the business that are younger, or, like myself, that, they're watching a lot of the new guys work and they, maybe a lot of, 2009, we'll say 2007, product to current. Do you think that, and I already have my answer on this, but how important is it for young guys to watch these old tapes, to really watch the style of it? Because someone, that's working as well as you are, that's really able to find your mold with the American Outlaw. What does watching old tapes mean to you, and how does it translate to younger generations? How important is it for them?
So for me personally, I prefer to watch old school. Obviously, when I started getting into wrestling, when I started getting into wrestling, unfortunately Stan Hansen was already retired. But like, he wasn't retired, but he didn't as much as he used to. And I feel like, to me, I wrestle old school. I like the old school vibe. I don't like the new stuff, the flashy stuff. So I mean, I'll never forget when I first started training. Mustafa Ali told me, he said, "Hey, go watch Pegasus Kid versus Dynamite Kid from Japan." And for those who don't know, Pegasus Kid was obviously, Chris Benoit under a mask. And that match, I mean, that was really the first old school match that I had watched outside of live wrestling. And I just kind of, I started watching old school wrestling. And like I said, I have an 8-disc Stan Hansen of nothing but Stan Hansen matches. And I watch it for hours just, trying to emulate and learn his character and how I can not necessarily copy his character, but mold it into my own.
Absolutely. This damn mute button. I try to do it that way I don't talk over people, because Renee says I have a problem with that. I'm just kidding. I throw you under the bus. But on top of that, though, do you think that we're seeing my question for you is kind of revolving around this kind of point of young guys that are coming in that want to do all of these different things. They want to, let me go jump off the beverage cart today. Let me go, and I'm just like you. I am a firm believer in it. I think that you need to tell the story, right? If you're needing to jump
all
off,
that shit's great if you can build up to it. Like,
right,
it's
absolutely. And my point is for this, and not to just to kind of add on to it, but what is your advice, when a young guy comes in that hasn't had any training, or maybe the first couple of months of it, that wants to do all these Young Bucks-esque, type of matches? What's your advice to them? What do you tell them if they ask you?
First off, I'm like, listen, kid, I'm too damn fat. I ain't moving that quick.
Hey, do it on, shit.
If you try jumping on me, I ain't fucking catching your ass. You're gonna fall. So we're not doing that. No,
I love it.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, my first thing is always eyes and ears open and mouth shut. Like, obviously, you're starting in the business. I mean, I've wrestled guys in there. I can't count how many times I've wrestled. It's been their first match, and obviously, you're not going to be 100% and do perfectly first time around. Some veterans will be, F you, F this, you suck, get out. No, see, that doesn't, in my opinion, that doesn't help anybody. I mean, sit the kid down, explain to him, hey, let's work on this and what you can do better. I mean, downgrading somebody, I don't care if you have 11 years.
Can't crush a kid's confidence that early.
No.
Think of David Carr.
Exactly.
Think of David Carr. They fucking destroyed his confidence early on, and he was never the same after that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you can't. We all were green kids and rookies at one time. I mean, you can't downgrade a kid just because he made a mistake. I mean, work with him to help him, show him what he did wrong and how he can improve it next time.
I love it.
That's the right thing to do, man. Hey, real quick, you probably see that comment there from your boy William. He says, "Hey Tyler, horns up, bro. You want to say anything about that?"
Yeah, horns up, William. How you doing, man?
Hold on, sir. Are you a Longhorns fan, or what does that mean? Give us some insight here. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I am a huge. Well, actually, I'm a huge Texas Longhorn guy, but I'm also a University of Illinois guy. But when I started the whole Texas thing, I just really got hooked on Texas Longhorns, and my whole thing is like hashtag horns up. So that's where you put. And I've never seen anybody ever do the hashtag horns up, and I thought that it was copyrighted by the University of Texas, but it's not. So I've just started using it everywhere I go. Hashtag horns up. So
shit. Well, hey, if you're putting over your hashtag, let me put over our hashtag. Hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling.
Hashtag Let's Save Wrestling.
Hashtag Too Much Hair Gel.
Ooh,
okay,
it's hairspray. It's hairspray. No. Hashtag Get Your Facts Straight.
All right. So hey, let me do this real quick because I'm having a lot of fun with this conversation, man. And I want to get your thoughts on the Wrestle Talk podcast question of the night, something that I have to give my partner some credit. He kind of came up with this concept. I think it's a great one. So here's our question of the night. And I know that as a wrestler, and I've heard wrestlers say this, hey, just because I'm a wrestler doesn't mean I'm not a fan anymore. I imagine that you're still a fan of pro wrestling, not just as a trade, but also as just an old-fashioned fan. Would you say that's fair?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I'll be on my shoot job. If I'm sitting at my desk, I'll type on the computer. I'll put my headphones in and I'll turn on some old school wrestling. I mean, oh yeah, I'm definitely a huge fan of wrestling. I think everybody in this business
you gotta be
cannot say that they're not a fan.
Exactly, bro. Because then you stop learning. If you don't love it, you don't appreciate it, you stop learning. So here's the question of the night. I'm going to pose it to you. Given the choice, what promotion would you go see above every other? And here, let me preface it by saying that one first class, front row, VIP, basically it's a free pass, full access to any promotion in the world, but you can only choose one today, alive today. We've gotten all kinds of answers. Because you would think, I want a front row ticket to WrestleMania. We haven't even heard that tonight. We've heard Impact. We've heard New Japan. We've heard a couple of people were even talking about promotions that used to exist like WCW. But for you, if you had that opportunity, that golden ticket, so to speak, to go see any promotion in the whole wide world, as a fan, what promotion would that be and why, sir?
Definitely, honestly, WrestleMania, just because I've never been to WrestleMania.
Me either. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, it could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And nobody, even as a wrestler, you can't not say that, hey, you would have an experience of a lifetime. You're sitting there as a fan, but to experience that. Hey, fuck you, Sonny.
Yeah, fuck you, Sonny. Don't call us Marks, you jerk off.
But hey, who's this Sonny guy? I think I want to meet this guy.
Okay, so he was at the New Breed Wrestling show. He was that geeky, cockeyed white boy that you called Four Eyes.
He's the one that can't see.
Dirty little kids.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll help him out. I'll hit him upside the head with old Bertha. Maybe his eyes go straight then.
Get his ass. Yeah, straighten it out. Maybe his eye. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. maybe you'll straighten his eye out. What's that for? Look at this guy. He can't even help it. We finally broke Douglas. We popped Douglas.
No.
Uh-oh, here we go. Cobb, listen, it's funny. Let me just say this. And Sonny's a good guy. He's having a good time. There's a lot of internet gangsters. You got to relax because we're going to see you someday. So just got to take it easy out there, folks. Careful how tough you act online because you might have to run into these people in real life someday. But to his credit,
like me.
Shut up. Like scared of you, boy. But he did give you your props earlier, so let's not forget this comment where he says, "Don't sleep on Bodine. He's damn good." So it's all in fun. Yeah. So WrestleMania front row. You've never had a chance to see the spectacle of spectacles. I'm actually with you, believe it or not. I hadn't even answered the question yet, bro. I want to take my son or my daughter or my wife, whoever, to go experience that front, second, third, fourth, fifth row, somewhere in there, because my wife hates wrestling. She just tolerates it.
Does she
but
really?
I'm like, yeah, she's not a fan.
Oh wow.
Well, why? Because I spend more time doing this than this shit that I'm supposed to be doing. You know how
my wife's the same way. So
yeah, she's like, that's your thing. You know what I mean? But the thing is that like if you can show them what attracts, let's just say, the bugs to the light, like what the light is actually composed of. You know, because my wife loves soap operas, you know what I'm saying? Novellas and stuff like that. I'm like, babe, it's like the same thing, except it's like there's physicality that goes along with it. And here's the best part of this soap opera: it never ends. Because don't you hate it? Like, bro, like you're watching Naruto or Breaking Bad, and you're like, oh my god, this show's about to be over. I'm never gonna get to see it again.
And wrestling is just
what?
Were those soap operas though?
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's drama, action, you know, long-term storytelling. It's kind of the same thing. That's my point. What I'm saying is if they could actually see what the light is composed of, it might change the game. So I'm with you, man. WrestleMania it is for me as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it could be, for all you know, it could be the once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, let me jump on this. Just because I think this is one of those questions that would be terrible to ask if we didn't already talk about it. And that was my media team, by the way. That wasn't exactly me. But anyway, I got to ask you, since you bring up, you know, the show you go to as a fan is WrestleMania, who's your opponent? If Vince calls you tomorrow, and I hate asking this question, I really do, because I hate the gimme questions. But if Vince calls you and says, hey, pal, need you to get your ass in the ring.
Hey, pal.
who are you working at Mania?
Oh, dang, that's honestly, I want to go, you know, teacher versus student, Mustafa Ali, man.
Hell yes. I love it.
Okay, well, you know what? That's actually a great segue, and we've got a few minutes left. Sonny, you know what? Shut up. We're going to stop posting your comments because you ain't going to do shit, homie. You ain't going to do shit. You weigh as much as Gumby soaking wet, okay? Just shut the hell up already. Okay, so we had another one. That was going to be our high spots segment, and I'm going to ask you this question, okay? This was a topic that was brought to the table once again by the illustrious Dick Douglas. You talk about Mustafa Ali, a lot of conversation online. You've actually spent time with the guy learning under his tutelage and all that. And so you may be a bit biased, but you've been in the game long enough to know when people are being utilized to their full potential. Now, Dick Douglas, I know when you brought this to the surface, you kind of had something in mind in terms of, you know, the young rock stuff, some of the younger talent. So why don't you lay it out for us, and then we'll let Tyler Bodine jump in and answer that question, because I think it's a good one. What do you think?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Young Rock, you know, some of the stuff online, because I can't watch the show full time, but I'm just seeing the way that they're kind of showing the locker room and things like this. But the Young Rock's mentioned Roman Reigns a couple of times. The show has, as Joe, or as him being the future of the family. But sure. With that being said, this is kind of leaning towards more of what people are, perceiving to be a potential Rock versus Roman, storyline at some point in time. But my question is for you, and my question for everyone with this high spots part was, are we getting to a point where WWE has said, you know what, Mustafa Ali, all these guys that have so much talent that I could only dream of having, in all seriousness, we're going to go with a 50-year-old. We're going to go with a 55-year-old. Is it undervaluing its talent by doing that, by not giving them those main event rubs, those long storyline pushes? Does that devalue the product for the future? And does that actually devalue the company in 5 years?
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely have to agree on that. Most definitely. Like, I was glad to see Ricochet finally get a belt. I mean, he just deserved it, and it was a long time. But I mean, I'm hoping, that Mustafa Ali, he's got the storyline going now with I'm having a brain fart. That young kid that just won the U.S. strap.
Theory. Yeah, we got you, bro. Yeah.
I mean, I was glad to see Theory win that. I mean, he's a young kid, but I agree with you. They need to focus on the younger guy, because I mean, yeah, some people may not have saw The Rock when he may have been retired before they were born, but at the same time, though, the younger generation is what you need to build your company around.
Let me piggyback off of this real quick, just to kind of add this point on, because I don't think Renee and I got to kind of discuss this as much as I wanted to yesterday, just for this. And I throw it back to 96. Whenever they're kind of at the transition stage, right? We're on the cusp of the Attitude Era, and before Austin becomes Stone Cold, he's still Stunning Steve or whatever the hell he was. Mm-hmm. We didn't have, it was rare when Jake the Snake, was back. He was building talent. He wasn't going in to win a title and carry a company. And my question for you is: are you a believer that titles belong to the veteran, the 10 years, the 20 years, or does it belong to somebody that's recognized the fan base and recognized their need?
So for me, it's a little mixture of both. Like what really irritates me is when I see these. I'm use kids loosely, but that only have like a year or two in, and they already have a title on them. I mean, I didn't get my first championship until after I had already had 8-9 years in. I mean, so it frustrates, and I mean, it is what it is. But I don't think you actually quit paying your dues. I mean, I don't think you should have a championship until you quote unquote quit paying your dues. But at the same time, you never really quit paying your dues because I mean, you're always flying, helping up the ring, doing whatever. But I mean, you should not have a championship until you're at least year 4. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
Bare minimum.
So.
And Renee, how much time do we have left? I don't keep a timer on me. It's very unprofessional on my end, but do we have enough for me to ask another question?
We do, absolutely. Because of the connection issues, we actually started a few minutes late with Tyler, so we've got about 5 minutes left, so you're good.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I just forgot my goddamn question. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, I've had a day, Renee.
It's been a day and a half.
Sorry, I got it.
You got it?
I'm sorry. With all this talk, we really haven't been able, and the conversation's been going so well. I hate falling back on give me questions, right? But I want to talk to you a little bit about the future. What do you expect here down the line? Do you have a 2-year plan in mind, a year plan in mind? What do you expect to be to accomplish here in the Indies in the next couple of years?
Damn good question.
To be honest with you, I right now my daughter's almost a year old, so I've been kind of.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, it's amazing.
I've been kind of. I mean, not necessarily slowing down, but not taking as many bookings. But as far as wrestling wise, I mean, my 2-year goal. I really don't have a 2-year goal. Honestly, I'm the kind of guy that I go with the flow. I don't like to count my chickens before they hatch. I don't like to, because if I plan something and then it falls through, then I don't like being disappointed. So I just kind of, I set myself little goals like in a month I want to do this, or I just little goals. I don't want to set the bar too high, and then because you never know what could happen tomorrow, and then something could happen and then be disappointed. So I really don't have a 2-year goal. I mean, my ultimate goal, honestly, would be to either make it to New Japan, WWE, AEW. So I'm getting too damn old for WWE apparently. But AEW or Impact or something like that. But I mean, if that doesn't happen, my other goal I want to wrestle at least one time in every single state in America.
Wow, that's badass,
That'll
man.
be awesome.
That is a great goal. I mean, think about it. Spreading the American outlaw gospel in all 50 states. Would that include Puerto Rico? Because it's like a territory.
Yeah. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, absolutely.
That would be dope.
So the thing that pissed me off the most about this whole pandemic thing is before when it started, I was actually supposed to go to wrestle in Puerto Rico, and once COVID hit, they shut down planes and everything. So
they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally changed the game. Well, listen, there was one final thing that I wanted to ask you, and I know it's always tough to ask somebody about a specific show that was like more than a year ago, but when I first met you, I don't know if you remember this, we met at a AIWF/PCW/XWE Super Show in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Yep.
And brother, I was on ring announce duty that night, and I remember you coming up to me, and you weren't towards the front or the back of the line, but I had like 70 cue cards, and me, Rusty Rex, and Aaron Helms, shout out to the American Way, they were all helping me put my stuff together. So I remember seeing you in the locker room, and there was 2 separate locker rooms. That's how many guys were in the locker room that night, because it was a 2-night show. It was absolutely incredible. Wyatt showed up, Craig, I should say, Nas Blanc showed up. A lot of great people showed up that night.
Yep.
But bro, what is one great, fun, different, exciting story from whether it be a locker room, a show that was like kind of out of control like that? Because for me, there was about 60 wrestlers booked for that show over those 2 nights, and it was freaking. I think we had 2 battle royals. Just to give you an idea. Just to give you an idea. Can you tell us just one story from you being on the road, being at a show, something that has kind of stuck with you, something that you'll tell your grandkids down the road, man? We'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. So there's this guy, I don't know if he's been on your podcast before, but he's going by the name Wild Man Beast.
Of course.
He,
of course, shout out to Wild Man Beast. Shout out to Chief Atakula Kula. Shout out to the OGs, man. Shout out. Big time.
So Beast is actually one of my best friends, and he actually lives with me, to be honest with you.
Okay, go.
So him and I, we travel the roads a lot, and he always, he's a big guy, and scary guy, but he's truly got a heart of gold. And we were traveling this one time, and he's like, we just started talking about his old WCW days and how one time he told me this one story about him in a hot tub. And he was just,
boy, here we go.
It was just in a hot tub, just chilling. And this is out after he had left WCW, but he was this girl came in, and they kind of got acquainted, and they put 2 together. Well, then this mom brought her 4 little kids in, and he made eye contact with the mom. She looked and saw what was going to happen, and kids, we got to go. The pool's about to close, and And
Wild Man Beast, yeah, bro. Talk about a guy that has the right name. Shout out! Hey, as a matter of fact, we need to have the Wild Man Beast back on, because I think we need to hear that whole story with details included. What do you think about that, Dick Douglas? What do you say?
Say what?
I'm not repeating myself. Kiss my ass. Forget it. Watch the replay, you bum.
Sorry, I'm dealing with, there's like 8,000 things happening in this office tonight, and I just want to apologize if I seem a little disjointed here. It's never my intention.
Don't worry about it, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Put it to you this way: Wild Man Beast, a lady in a hot tub, Dick Douglas. That's what we were just talking.
I'd pay money for it. Oh wait, no,
that's right. We need to hear the whole story. That's what I'm saying. And here are the followers and fans and family of the Wrestle Talk podcast speaking the truth. Little truth there from our buddy Adam Frex.
Yeah,
well, his hot take there was about as good as his hot takes on the Talking Dynasty podcast. So,
name drop. I'm sure he appreciates that. Good job,
Mr. Dick Douglas. Are you you manager, wrestler, or?
I am a manager, and I am a campaign leader for a revitalization of professional wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Tyler, please don't give him a platform. He's just going to go on and on about.
But if you want to talk, no, it's
don't.
okay. It's not about me.
No, let's not do that right now. Let's do it. Can't stop putting himself over. All right, so Tyler, all I can say is this: as we close out this interview, because we do have the Smoking Ace, who's absolutely on fire right now. I'm sure you're familiar with him as well. He's been all over the damn place. That's going to be coming on with us in just a matter of moments. Let me just say this. So, number one, thank you, brother, because I love what I would call Hoss wrestling. I love the JC Thunders. I love the Wild Man Beast. I love the Blades. I love the Tyler Bodines of the world. Or is it Bodine or Bodine? I've heard
Bodine.
Bodine, okay. I love the big guys, the Stan Hansons, the guys we were talking about a little bit earlier. Thank you for keeping that alive. I don't think it should be solely the NWA's responsibility and Trevor Murdoch's job to keep the Hosses alive in professional wrestling. I think it's something that we all need to strive for. And so, number one, thank you for that. And number two, bro, thank you for being so gracious with your time. I know you're busy. I see you're in the car. You got a 1-year-old daughter. You're trying to get your booking done, grocery store, wife, the whole nine. So, number two, thank you for being here. And number three, bro, please tell us how people can follow you on social media and where they can see you in action next, because ultimately that's what's most important, bro. The next show, what's coming up, how can people get tickets? Drop it on us.
So my Facebook page, go ahead and give a like. It's American Outlaw Tyler Bodine. Instagram, capital PRO, capital W, Pro Wrestler _Tyler _Bodine. I'm on Twitter, Professional Wrestler Tyler Bodine. I will also I'm gonna start doing TikTok too. I'm a two-time suicide survivor, so I'm gonna start doing inspirational speeches on TikTok. So I'm going to try to get that out there. My next match is actually May 14th in Sedalia, Missouri for New Breed Wrestling.
Shout out to Scotty. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to El Diablo, Leo D, that killed it this past weekend. Shout out to Slammer. Shout out to Iceman. Oh, yeah, I know, bro. Slammer. Yep. I wish I was as over as Slammer is. I'm going to be honest with you.
Dude, that man.
Oh, my gosh.
He is one of the nice. I mean, I'm happy to call him a friend, dude. But him and I, we give each other so much crap. It's funny.
Bro, by the time it's all said and done, you know how there's Chuck Norris jokes? There's going to be Slammer jokes. You want to hear the first one? Slammer meets Hulk Hogan. Hogan marks out. Yeah, if you know Slammer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, Richard, any final thoughts for the American Outlaw? Man, what a great interview. What a great way for us to get to know the man behind the Outlaw. What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, so Renee and I have done hundreds of these, 10, at least 50, I've done at least 100. I feel like it, but whenever these things go as a conversation, we're able to talk with you a little bit more, man. I love that type of stuff. I think it's great for all of us. But just to comment on your what you just said about the inspirational stuff on TikTok, man, really, it takes a man to really admit that. So God bless you on that. I hope everything keeps going well, and thank you for joining the show tonight.
Absolutely, guys, and I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, it's been fun. I've wanted to come on for a long time, and I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. So thank you.
Hell yeah, baby. Well, just make sure you raise some hell down at New Breed Wrestling, and you tell all those wonderful folks down there that the Wrestle Talk podcast got love for them just like they got love for us. Outlaw, you have yourself a good night. We'll talk to you real soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Outlaw, Tyler Bodine. Peace.
Y'all have a good night.
Adios. Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa. Bro, what an absolutely killer first hour of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Dick, we got to go on just a very brief break before we bring in Luke Langley. Okay. Is there something we didn't cover in the first hour that you wanted to hit on real quick?
I just have not to cut you off, but I really just wanted a quick call to action because I really like the way that that conversation went. And if our viewers here, if you want to chime in, let us know how you thought about that interview. I want to hear your feedback on this.
There's a comment right there. Why don't you read that for us?
No, in all seriousness, keep kicking ass, American Outlaw. Looking forward to booing you at a show soon. Absolutely. But in all seriousness, and thank you, Sonny, for that. But I'm just curious to see what the fans thought, the listeners thought. If you guys liked it, if you guys think that I need to do better, let me know. You've already told me that in the past, so what's stopping you now?
So your hate mail must be out of control.
Oh, did I tell you about this? Oh dear God! So
somebody hasn't sent you anthrax.
So I did want to bring this up. I'll have to log into my company email, but we have an email chain that's on a private email server and at the cityonthehill.org.
You got a VPN in?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And in all seriousness, I got an email one time from a 7-year-old that went to a show in Mount Vernon, and what I was called by that 7-year-old makes me wonder why we don't have Common Core in schools. It's not cool.
Common Core? Are you out of your mind?
Because this kid was misguided. Thank God for George Bush. Otherwise, he would have been left behind. But I'm just saying.
You're in favor of the 1619.
What 7-year-old calls a guy a douchebag?
You are a douchebag. Douchebag. Yeah. All right, anyway, I'm just kidding. Great first hour of the show. Guys, we're going to be back here in about 2.5 minutes. We're going to hit you with the sponsors one more time. And then the goal is right at 8:30, we're going to bring on the Smoking Ace, man. a guy, diamond in the rough, in my opinion, a guy who has been overlooked to a certain extent, and he's tired of it. He kicked down the door at Journey Pro Wrestling, cut a promo with the Monarch, and I think that the man's created a new platform, and he's given himself every opportunity to make noise, not just throughout professional wrestling in the Midwest there, Mr. Douglas, but I'm talking about professional wrestling overall. We cannot wait to come back with you guys in just a matter of moments here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode what? 393, because we're only 7 away from 400, and I promise you, we're going to absolutely have something special for you guys on that night. But for now, we'll hit you with a little music, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Peace.
You're gonna acknowledge me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back now into hour number 2 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, featuring your boy, the Night Owl, and the one and only, the proprietor of the City on the Hill, the president of professional wrestling, Richard Douglas.
What a great first part of the show. I don't like to say hour, though. I mean, we're already into the 8 o'clock hour. You know, I mean, we already hit the second hour of the show during an
welcome back into the second hour.
Okay.
Back into the second hour. Come on, man. Come on. You want to check the game tape? How about that?
Sorry,
anyway.
but man, seriously, what a great conversation with Tyler. I mean, that's what I've really been wanting. Just a great conversation, great mind of wrestling. We're getting ready to do another one, and it's Kylie Ray. Hey,
Kylie Ray would be great, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll top the Jeannie Buss interview or the Thunder Rosa interview, but we could definitely try. I mean, why not?
We'll send her our way, Will. Send her our way, buddy.
Yeah, hit her up on Twitter. Let her know. WTB all day, baby. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. You already know. Anyway, Dick Douglas, I'm going to actually burden you here a little bit, and it may not be a burden. because based on the recent actions of this individual, I think it's almost appropriate if you do the introduction. So get your notes out, because it's time for the second hour featured interview for episode 293 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. A lot of people have been in my inbox talking about everything that's been going on with this individual, mostly inside the ring, but some of the stuff outside the ring. It's starting to feel personal over at Journey Pro Wrestling. And I got the opportunity to see him at American Wrestling Revolution down in Hoseland, Kansas this past Saturday. And let me tell you, the man, he absolutely shined in his match. But I'm not going to take the spotlight away from you. Dick Douglas, why don't you do us the honors and give the Smokin' Ace an appropriate introduction?
Well, Renee, thank you very much. The Wrestle Talk podcast is pleased to welcome a native of Kansas City that has had a career in professional wrestling that's just been incredible. Winning 11 tag team championships with the Mercenary Graham Bell over a course of his career. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your honor to help us welcome to the show Luke Langley. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Luke Langley.
Howdy, gangsters.
What up, fam? What up?
It's a great honor to commemorate your guys' 393rd episode. So thank you for that.
This may be like getting married, having kids. This may be like right up there for me. I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
On the Rushmore for sure.
Renee has just now been kicked out of his house, so if we can set up a GoFundMe for that, the wife heard it. I heard.
I'm sure there's a grant somewhere
Yeah.
that'll get me off, so it's all good. Well, Luke, thank you so much for making time for us tonight, man. You've been very patient. You were in the green room early. Hopefully, the Avion water and the green M&Ms were to your liking.
Oh, that's part of being the professional. Is you got to show up on time and get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you've been doing a whole lot of that, man. Let's start in the present and work backwards, because I definitely want to talk about the past. My boy Dick Douglas here's got some insight as well. But, bro, AWR, your boy had the first opportunity to go out there this past Saturday. Mm-hmm. It was an experience unlike anything I've ever had before in professional wrestling, maybe because I was doing a little bit of Spanish commentary. But, bro, you went in there and you absolutely had a show-stealing performance in your triple threat match. Let's talk about the guys that you competed against and AWR just in general, man. How you feeling about being a part of that prestigious organization?
Yeah, American Wrestling Revolution. They've got a great product going out there in Hoisington, Kansas. I think that was the fourth time I've been out there. Just a electric crowd. A lot of kids who are super into it. But their parents are also into it, and they appreciate all forms of good wrestling. A lot of times those small towns, like, people will say like, oh, you don't have to work that hard. They'll just pop off a hip toss, and they will.
Right.
But they also like seeing,
more than that.
Yeah, they also like seeing action, and you don't have to do anything stupid or reckless. But the good folks of AWR, they trust me to go all out for them, and I think you got to see another example of that. That was the first time I'd gotten to compete against Chris Vale. I was kind of familiar with him secondhand because he went over with Graham to Japan as part of that
Wrestle
0-1 camp. Yeah, Wrestle 1 camp.
Yeah.
No, it was Wrestle 1. It was Wrestle 1. You're right. And Colt Kilbane's a guy from Oklahoma. I've worked with him several times in the past in singles, multi-man stuff, and he gets better and better every time.
Now, is
every
he
time
not
I'm in the
one
ring with
half
him.
of the World Wrestling Revolution?
Yeah, I think him and Mr. Nasty, who's another excellent performer. I think they currently have the world-class belts.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing it. And I gotta say, I personally have had the experience of calling quite a few of Chris Vale's matches, and I gotta give it to him, being probably the younger guy in that matchup. How do you feel he held up, man? He's coming out of the XWE, the Kansas Wrestling Alliance. I do a lot of work in Kansas, so just maybe a little bit more insight on what you saw from King Vale.
Oh, I think he's got a world of potential. Great athlete. He's got the gimmick. He's got the look. He's got the personality, even in a triple threat where it's kind of harder to display that because you have more moving parts.
Right.
I was pretty impressed with his timing and his ability to keep pace with me. I'd certainly like to do it one-on-one with him, just to get a better idea of what he's got in the tank.
Billy Simmons, you hear that? We need some Luke Langley over at XWE, baby. Now, I guess I would almost piss off some of the listeners if I didn't jump right into this. So, Journey Pro, JDX, Jeremy Wyatt. Fill in the gaps for me, bro, because you, and the timing of this interview couldn't probably been any better. Absolutely on fire down in Newbury, but specifically what happened at Journey Pro Wrestling, man. What changed? What changed? I gotta know.
You know, there's only so many times that you can go to the back after your match and have people tell you, man, that was incredible. I can't believe more people haven't heard of you, or I can't believe that you're not booked everywhere, or I can't believe that someone hasn't given you a job yet. At a certain point, when you keep hearing that, it stops being a compliment and you need to look in the mirror. Because at a certain point, if I'm being overlooked, it's ultimately nobody's fault but mine. Unfortunately, now everyone else at Journey Pro gets to pay for my sins because I'm not going to be overlooked anymore. I'm not going to sit back when we have some of the greatest wrestling talent in the world right here in Kansas City. We have
Absolutely.
Jeremy Wyatt, a world-class wrestler. We have me, who's been an absolute monster for the last several years. And Journey Pro wants to feature, guys who are good wrestlers, no doubt. Guys like your Christian Rose, guys like your Gary Jays, and young up-and-comers like your Kenny Alfonsos. Yeah, Kenny's great.
Yeah.
Kenny's great. Kenny's great. But he's going to have to wait because it's my time now.
Wow. That's a bold statement, especially in a promotion. And for those of you guys that don't know, Journey Pro is a little bit different than everything else we have here in Kansas City. In some cases, for some fans, that's probably a good thing. For other fans, maybe not so much. But when you talk about hard hitting, I don't think anybody's doing what Journey Pro is doing. When you talk about the Howlets and some of these other guys on that roster, it's going to be hard to stand out. But you did that, and in doing that, you aligned yourself with the Monarch. And I know you mentioned him just a few moments ago. Talk about that, because I think there are some people, especially on the other side of the state, no disrespect, but they are putting on shows called St. Louis versus the World. So let's keep it a buck here. What makes you feel that aligning yourself with a guy that you call one of the best wrestlers on the planet, Jeremy Wyatt, will do for you, and what's in it for him? I guess I'm curious to know.
The great thing about Wyatt is that he just doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care what is cool in wrestling. He doesn't care what is popular or what's just going to drive eyeballs or make a nice GIF in his match. He's in there.
Even though he can do that too.
Yeah,
for those of you who haven't seen the GIF about him pulling the chair out from the girl, that's legendary. That's one of the best GIFs in pro wrestling history.
Sure,
speaking.
But that's window dressing.
He can do that too.
But that's window dressing, because the dude can wrestle an hour, go to a time limit draw, and then be doing jumping jacks, taunting the guy as the refs pull him apart. Like, he's an absolute machine, and that is something that I empathize with, because ultimately this is a combat sport. It's about what you can do between those ropes. It's not about going viral or having a moment necessarily. It's about getting the job done between the ropes.
So you feel like you've been co-signed, Luke? You feel like, and again, you're tired of waiting for people to acknowledge you, but now people have no choice, because when a guy like that puts the stamp on you, which you and I were talking backstage, and you're not usually an approachable guy. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes after the AWR show.
Oh, come on.
Well, when you're locked in, I'm not messing with you.
What a passive-aggressive thing to say to somebody.
I'm just saying the man was fresh out competition. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. The man's
I just observed this.
His
I'm
veins
just
was
observing.
still showing out the side of his neck. Come on, man. I'm not stupid, bro. I'm a big guy, but I know when a man is on fire, you leave him. You step away from the fire. So
you don't talk to the pitcher when he's throwing a perfect game.
Exactly, bro. You absolutely killed it. So
I'll take it that way.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Fair. See, there you go, Douglas. You always jump into conclusions on me, man. I'm getting sick of that with you. Tired of it.
Are you gonna ask your question?
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. So the rubber stamp, do you feel like now that adds maybe even another level of pressure? You're just like, okay, I've been co-signed by a guy that's a made man. So do you feel like that adds another layer of pressure to you moving forward? I'm curious.
I can't really speak for Jeremy, or I don't take it as like an endorsement or anything like that. I think that we both appreciate the same things in wrestling and have similar goals and ideas of what this should be and what Journey Pro's future should be. Do I have any expectation to live up to because of him? No. Like, I've proven that I'm one of the best damn performers that this city has. He wouldn't have gone in on this with me if I hadn't already proved that. So I have nothing left to prove to anybody.
I'd love to hear that. Well,
can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to give
when did the mindset
change? I could basically do this interview alone, but
it's okay. But that's why I'm here to say professional wrestling. I've been doing so and saving the show. When did the mindset change, Luke? It seems like this kind of acknowledge me thing, which I completely respect and support with your talent level and what you've done is there. But when did that kind of mindset change for you? Like, you know what? Fuck all of you. It's my turn.
I think it was starting to crack a little bit. I think I started to really feel it at the last Journey show, actually, when I was in a random 6-person tag match with random ass partners in a filler spot on the card after I stole the show with Everett Connors at Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie, whatever unwieldy title that was named.
Gotta love these.
And then
they're very creative with their names.
Yes. And then during my match with JDX, and after that didn't go the way I wanted to, it occurred to me that something had to change. Because here I am, homegrown talent in front of a Kansas City crowd. Half of those people wanted to see JDX kick my ass. And you know what? That's okay. It's a free country. You can cheer for whoever you want.
Amen.
But, clearly trying to achieve inner peace, representing the Enlightenment, clearly that's not going to get me to the level that I want. And ultimately, I think I just needed that last little push from Jeremy in the ring, reminding me that, yes, I do look like $1 million. I am one of the best goddamn professional wrestlers in this city. And I'm not going to be a cartoon character anymore.
Absolutely. And just, this is just maybe for me, maybe some of the listeners we have right now or viewers that are just kind of a little bit more kind of curious about it. So is your mindset now, if you're in my way, you're going down, or are you looking for somebody in particular?
You're going to have to wait and see on the specifics.
I like it.
I'll leave it at that.
I like it. Smart guy.
But trust me, you don't want to be in me or Jeremy Wyatt or anyone else who's with us away.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyone else who's with you, or we?
I'm intrigued.
Yes.
I said what I said.
Okay. All right. I take it at face value. I got you, but I am intrigued as well.
Am I allowed to swear on here? I should have clarified that.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't
cool.
swear
Fuck
on
yeah.
here, bro.
All right.
Yeah, we're like the game lobby in Modern Warfare right now. Let's go.
Okay.
Fuck it
No,
all.
bro, you ever been in an NBA? You ever been in an NBA 2K lobby?
In a what?
NBA 2K lobby.
I don't play that weak shit, Renee.
That
Come
shit's
on.
out of control, bro. People, never mind. We'll save that for another episode. Oh my god. So, Renee, I do have a question. I want to jump back in. So we started with the kind of the current stuff. I want to go backwards. So, bro,
please.
There's a part of me that's got like a particular affinity for you because of when I started going to indie shows. It was at Metro.
Mm-hmm.
And what great timing here by my brother Sonny Money, Vega and Fitchett and Luke and Graham, dude. Maybe no one will ever think about this when you're off and killing the game worldwide, which I fully expect for you to do here within the next couple of years. But bro, for us, those Metro matches with you and Jalistico and it was just something special about that place, man. Can you possibly attempt to take us back in history a little bit and talk a little bit about your experience at Metro Pro here in Kansas City, KC Wolves, that whole deal? Because I know for some of us fans, especially the Buffet Club guys, that has a near and dear spot inside of our hearts, bro. I hope you know that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Metro will always be really important to me because going to a Metro show in January of 2011 was what made me want to get into professional wrestling. Like I'd followed it, and
11 years ago now. 11
yeah,
years,
it's
bro.
wild,
Crazy.
Craziness. But I'd gotten back into it later in high school and like stayed current with it through college, kind of like keep it on the DL, because it wasn't the cool thing. But like going to
It
that
is now, though.
show, yeah, but going to that show. Just like really being captivated by the energy of it is what made me want to get into this, for real. And I remember thinking, just to tie this back to current events, seeing in the opening random ass tag match, there was a guy named Jeremy Wyatt. And I remember thinking in the car on the way home, talking to my dad, like, I'm pretty sure that Jeremy Wyatt guy was the best wrestler on the show. And that was over a decade ago. And look what he is now. He's somehow even better.
Still
Right.
ain't nothing changed.
Right. No, Metro was very special. It was great to finally get to compete there with Graham. I'm sad that we didn't get there sooner, honestly. I know we had several like fun matches, but I really enjoyed the one we had with the Twins. Which I think when NWL was starting up, I was told that was the match that they used to audition commentators. They played that Metro match for them and had them, dub their commentary over that to try them out. So that was kind of a compliment there.
Yeah,
but,
they did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, my man, myself, and I think my guy Jay Hollywood, who's now working with UFC Hall of Famer Pat Milicic, also auditioned for that role. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I think Gabe Miller got that job along with some. I can't remember the first guy's name who's passed away. You remember that first NWO commentator, bro? He's super cool, and then he ended up Kentucky Fried Wrestling. Man, what was Buddy's name, dude? He's cool. Scott something. God forgive me for
Is
not
that trademarked?
What?
Kentucky Fried Wrestling? I feel like
I believe it belonged to Scott, and I can't.
Okay.
I can't remember what his last name was, but he was one of the original commentators for NWL. Cool shit. Yeah. Sorry, Luke. Go ahead.
No, I mean I'm not sure what else I had. I don't remember the second gentleman's name because I had like 5 matches for the NWL, so I wasn't a huge part of that company. But
right.
Yeah, Metro will always have a special place in my heart. Great venue, great atmosphere. It's like the perfect indie wrestling venue because it's the perfect size for several hundred people. The bleachers give everyone a good seat, and they're at the Turner Rec Center, and yeah, you couldn't draw it up any better than that, honestly.
I miss those days, man.
Yeah. Though, to give credit where it's due, like I think Journey's got a really, really good thing going with their new venue. I really like the kind of unfinished, underground fight club vibe the place has. So I think there's no reason it can't. I don't know if it'll ever like. The atmosphere is not the same because it's a different style of venue,
right.
But it's nothing to sleep on there. It's a really great spot if you haven't checked out Agnes yet.
Yeah, shout out to Hartzell, Walter, Chris, and DJ. You guys are absolutely killing, man. We love you guys. I can't wait to have those guys back on the show.
Indeed.
Dick, what do you got?
Let me jump in here real quick because, Luke is someone that's as experienced as you and done so many different things. As a young wrestler, like myself 2 years in, and trying to do the right thing. Your motto of right now with, with get out of my way thing, I want to know what if someone were to approach you, and you're willing, if you're free and you aren't as busy and you aren't getting ready to, go out there, that's a young guy. What advice do you give them? What if Luke Langley 11 years ago were to ask, one of the vets in the back or one of the guys in the back a question, how would you expect him to respond? And then in return, if you could double up on this one, I don't throw a lot at you. How do you respond to young talent today? And what a bit of advice do you give them to stay on the straight and narrow in this industry that could kill you in about a month?
Sure. A lot of questions in there. I guess.
Sorry about that.
No,
That's a
no,
fault.
that's all right. That's all right.
No.
Despite being slandered as being, you know, an incredibly hostile person on the show thus far, and wildly unapproachable,
Renee.
I love
It was after a
talking.
match. It was just all
I love talking about wrestling with just about anybody. So if any younger talent or older talent, for that matter, wants to come up and talk about, pick my brain about anything wrestling related, I'm happy to do that. Not that I guess the first thing I would say, to any young guy who's like asking for my advice is like, don't treat anybody's word as the gospel, because ultimately, like, step back here, you keeping it 100 or however the kids say it these days. Like,
Amen.
I'm
Yeah.
not a guy who's like ever like paid his bills 100% with wrestling or anything like that. I'm not a guy who's ever been on television. So consider the source. Like, I can tell you stuff that has been useful to me, but you might go talk to someone who's been on TV for 15 years because you were on a show with them later. And if they tell you something different, do what that guy tells you, I would say for young talent, go out and get as many reps as possible. Me and Graham, we didn't really have like a famous trainer or anybody to network us in. So we just kind of got started on one show, met a guy who ran a show in Oklahoma, and just kind of branched out from there. And we got to wrestle a lot of places. And unfortunately, like most of the time when we got to these places, we were already kind of the best wrestlers there. And any reps are going to be valuable when you're in those first couple of years, just because you need experience getting in front of any crowd. But ultimately, to improve, you have to get around people who are better than you. You have to wrestle people who are going to lead you through a match, who are going to give you input in things that you've never thought of. Me and Graham were trained by the good Reverend Chad Sullivan out of Bucyrus, Kansas. I think he'd be the first to admit he's not the most like accomplished in the world of professional wrestling, but he didn't teach us anything that was wrong that needed to be corrected, and we were always safe, and he didn't take advantage of us for money. So that's better than a lot of people get.
That's a win.
When they're training, But I don't feel like I really started to put the pieces together as a performer until 2016-ish, when Trevor Murdoch briefly had his school with Derek McQuinn here in Kansas City, and I started working out with him, and just as importantly, Mike Seidel several times a week.
Oh my God, Mike is amazing. Yeah.
I actually got to meet Mike and Mark Sterling and Wyatt early on when me and Graham were training back in 2011. But then really like reconnected with Mike and started training with him a lot during that several month stretch in 2016, and getting in there, learning to like call it in the ring step by step, and not just like give me 3 elbows and take a tackle or something like that, but like actually like put together a good, exciting match that made sense and be able to communicate it on the fly. Like, that was next level shit for me at that time, and it's something that I've continued to hone, and I really pride myself on now. So get around people who are better than you, get around good influences, and get to these shows where there is like talent that you can actually pull from, because any reps are good when you're new, but at a certain point, if you're consistently the best wrestler on the show, you need to try to wrestle other places. The other thing too, I would say, and this is the most practical thing, have 3 things for when a guy comes up and asks, so what do you do? If you give them 3 things, because if I ask, someone who I've never met, like, what do you do? And they can rattle off 3 things, I can probably put together a match out of that. So, that'd be my quick practical advice there.
Man, that actually, thank you for that, because I actually needed it, because I've been running into that same problem. It's it's putting that stuff together. So that actually, thank you for that. That helps me a lot too. And I know Renee likes to talk some of your career stuff with you, but one more question before I start. I want to kind of lean more back to it if that's cool. You always have the opportunity to look back and reflect in hindsight and things. And my question for you is just simple. What's the one thing you look back on and go, man, I wish I would have done this? And it's bad to look on that, but maybe what bit of advice do you have to go, if I could teleport back in time, here's what I'm telling Luke Langley in 2015 and 2016.
Sure. I wish I would have not waited until, over 5 years into my career to get in great physical condition. Like, that sounds super obvious. But I'm 34 now, so like, biologically I'm kind of past my peak athletic prime. It's like a mind fuck when I'm in like watching NFL draft coverage and people are talking about, replacing these veterans who are several years younger than me,
Right,
yeah. So I wish I would have emphasized the conditioning and the physical development part earlier on. But ultimately, like, everything that I've done had to happen to kind of get me to where I'm now and kind of get me into the current mindset that I have. So there's no use looking back wistfully or anything like that. But I'd like to think that I could have probably developed as a performer a little better. And like I kind of touched on in my last answer, like I wish that me and Graham had spent less time in certain places early in our development and like tried to get to like a metro sooner than we did back in like 2015, because there was a ton of great talent there that we could have benefited from had we gotten there a little sooner.
Absolutely.
Derek Stone, Mark Sterling, the list goes on and on. The guys that we're bringing from St. Louis, just absolutely awesome. And I do want to throw it because Sonny's been such a trooper, sticking with us throughout the duration of the show. Here's a question directly.
Shout out to Sonny before you ask that. That's awesome. Thank you, Sonny.
That is a great question. So there it is for you, Mr. Langley. What is the most important thing to Luke when it comes to professional wrestling? And that's kind of a generic question, but maybe you can give us some insight.
I mean, ultimately, it's about developing an emotional connection with the crowd. And I know that maybe sounds weird coming from someone like me who does wrestle a more like action-packed, indie style, what have you. But I believe that you can have a tremendous athletic contest that emotionally invests people, because it's about doing cool things at the right time after they already care about you. There's nothing worse than like when I do something and I was like, that came off good, why isn't the crowd like really responding? It's ultimately like, what's the point of what we're doing? It's to create an emotional connection, to cause a suspension of disbelief so that they will pay money to see two people try to hurt each other. A certain segment of fans will pay just because they want to see, hey, I like both these guys, and I want to see them do their comedy spots, or I want to see these guys do their flips, or I want to see these guys just chop each other a million times, or I want to see a crazy ass death match, if that's your flavor. And I think there are great death match wrestlers, so I don't mean that in like a disparaging way, but like,
shout out to our boy Madman Pondo, G Raver, all those guys, and Nick Sicken, long time members of the Wrestle Talk family.
Right. But ultimately, it's like, people want to see a fight, and they want to believe there's a personal issue between these guys, and they want to, they want this guy to kick the other guy's ass, or vice versa. That's what ultimately draws money.
There you go. Well, absolutely well said. I've got one last question, and then if you would appease us, from doing our research, we hear that you...
Do you hear that? If you could appease us, Luke, that is so passive-aggressive, Renee. Speak with respect. That's all I'm saying.
Asking politely, man. You not know anything about interview etiquette? You need to go back and do your homework. Point being, I want to show you something and kind of get your thoughts, and then maybe we can have a little bit of a trivia challenge. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be pro wrestling trivia, and I absolutely suck at it. So you're likely going to win. But let me go ahead and share this image. Yeah, I mean, he can co-sign me because I'm absolutely awful. So here is the image, and I just want to get your reaction looking at this image.
Well, that looks familiar.
Okay, as it should. This, for those who don't know, this is Luke Langley kicking the head off of our friend Walter Fulbright, who's been a guest on the show here several times at a Journey Pro show. you care to explain yourself? What is the meaning of this, sir? What the hell is going on in this picture? And you say here, coming soon. So can you shed any light for us on what's coming beyond what happened in this picture? Go ahead.
Well, the coming soon just alludes to the fact that this graphic will be available for purchase in some kind of medium, whether t-shirt, whether t-shirt form or otherwise. But in terms of like, what does that moment mean to me? I mean, that is the moment when people realize that Luke Langley is done fucking around.
Okay, you kicked the owner, bro. That dude's not even a wrestler. Why would you do that?
Frankly, it's insulting that someone would sit in the ring with a talent like Jeremy Wyatt and try to lord the fans' opinion over him. Like, Jeremy Wyatt's a gift to Journey Pro Wrestling. I'm a gift to Journey Pro Wrestling. The fact that we're there performing for them at the level that we do, and they want to trot him out, and let the fans, talk shit on him.
He's the owner. He's the owner.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean
matter
anything.
What are you talking about?
All it is a title.
Oh my God.
You know what?
You guys are out of line.
If you want to kill a snake, you cut off the head.
Wow. Well, get well soon, Walter. We know your health has not been the best over the last couple of months. Then you add a super kick to the chin immediately. I just don't even know what to say. But you know what?
In my defense as well, Jeremy told him to take off his glasses. Should have listened.
The guy told him, Renee. The guy told him.
The guy told him. Okay. All right. Well, maybe if I was Walter, I would have. I don't know what I would have done.
I respect it. I respect someone who's going to take action. I really did. In all seriousness, you got to respect that, Renee.
Go ahead and attack an owner, guy who's probably never been in the wrestling ring in that fashion ever. You just
not our problem.
In the face. It just doesn't sit well with me, man. I'm sorry. I agree. Let's agree to disagree here.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Okay, yep. Well, whatever. You know what? I've gotten to the point here tonight where I can kind of feel the energy that you guys are bringing against me. So instead of just talking trash, which I could easily do from a safe distance, I would rather challenge Luke Langley to tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. We're going to be in a sphere where we're both comfortable, which is far, far away from each other, but also talking about professional wrestling. So, Dick Douglas, would you do us a favor and officiate tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge? Please.
I've been prepared for months for this moment. No, I just got told a half hour ago we're doing this, and I'm the host of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show. Normally, it's me. Unprepared. Normally, I'm pitted against a genius like Herb Simmons or some encyclopedia of wrestling, and then the fans give them the answer to the damn question before I can even answer it. So I'm glad to be in this seat. Are you guys ready for me to begin this?
Let's fire it up.
Hell yeah. Welcome to this week's edition of the world famous Game Show Challenge featured right here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Tonight's contest is set for the best 2 out of 3 falls. That means the first person to answer 2 questions right is the winner. Tonight, our contestants are, of course, Luke Langley and the Night Owl. And in this game show, guys, I'm just going to ask you 3 questions revolving around one particular professional wrestling topic. And whenever you think you have the answer, just shout it out. There's no button, there's no buzzer, because those things don't work anyway. Does that sound fair?
We're so family feud.
Cool.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at you, Renee. I'm just telling you this now.
I'm just surprised you can read. I am. I'm impressed.
That's okay. Tonight's podcast game show challenge category is titled Number 1. I will give you a series of facts about 3 professional wrestlers who entered number 1 in the Royal Rumble match. And of course, again, when you think you guys know the answer, shout it out. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Question number 1. This 2-time WWF and E Hall of Famer entered number 1 in the 1988 Royal Rumble. He went on to be
Ric Flair.
No. He went on to be the best there is.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
There we go. 1-0 Luke Langley.
Come on!
I didn't need to finish that one. That's what I like to hear. Okay, Thank you, Luke.
I gotta get
Keep it short. Put him out of his misery. Let's move on down the road, right?
Just come on.
Question number 2. This 2-time WWE and F Hall of Famer entered number
Booker
1.
T.
No. In the 1993 Royal Rumble.
Ric Flair.
There you go. 1-0.
Yeah.
So
One,
Renee
one.
was sitting on that though, Luke. I mean, that was just a go-to answer that he had.
Started it in the one, it's when the title was vacant. I remember that. Okay.
There you go. Question number 3, and if it's tied up, it's 1-1. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Never mind. I lied. The 1998 Royal Rumble. This man entered the Rumble at number 1, at number 16, and at number 28 in the 1998 Royal Rumble. As
Mankind.
They're Mick Foley.
I'm going to go with the latter on this one. Luke Langley, you've beaten Renee Martinez.
Oh, no.
I heard it. I don't care. I'm the official.
Let me guess.
Langley.
Let me guess.
Yeah,
Night
he
Owl,
only
screwed Night Owl. Is that what we're going with here?
Let's check the tape, because if it was the Mankind personality that was number 1, then it was probably Renee. But if it was just any of the other faces of Foley, then it should be me, because I said Nick.
Because I think it was
Hold on, let's
Dude
check
Love.
the tape.
No, it was Cactus Jack, then Dude Love, then Mankind. So I guess if we go by that measurement, you won.
Well, I'm giving it to Luke. Congratulations, Luke Langley. You
what
are
a
the
bunch
winner.
of crap. Boo. Oh, man.
Eat it, Renee. Now you know how I feel. No, it's okay.
You bad guys stick together. I fucking hate it. It pisses me off. Well, anyway.
It wasn't the dominant win that I was hoping for, but I will take it.
I was just going to answer Ric Flair no matter what the information was. Let's just be honest.
That's a safe bet, though.
I got one. Yeah, no question. Well, listen, as we close out this interview, Smoking Ace, thank you, bro. Thank you for what you're doing to shed that caricature of yourself. The stuff that you were doing before to appease the fans, like you mentioned, and I am one of those fans that I love to see the character element, but it feels to me like you're kind of letting it all hang loose now. And some of us who've been watching you for close to 10 years now, man, we've been waiting for this moment. It's going to be a privilege to see you do what you do inside the ring, whether it be in Kansas, Missouri. I mean, you're all over the damn place, right? You've had to have covered at least 5-6 states at this point. Am I right?
Like total, well over 5 or 6 states.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just wondering. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't have the range that I had a couple years ago when, like me and Graham used to drive, do Sunday shows in Austin, Texas, and drive back through the night so I could get to work on Monday morning. And I used to wrestle semi-frequently out in New York City for Battle Club Pro. It's been a while since I've been out there, but yeah, now Arkansas, Oklahoma, getting back down to Texas a little bit here in the coming months, so that'll be exciting too.
I think we need to see a little bit more Luke Langley in the Southern Illinois, St. Louis area. Can you do something about that, Dick Douglas? I know you're a string pulling kind of guy.
Well, a string puller, a professional wrestler, and I'm a man of change and initiative, and I'd love to have Luke Langley right there in St. Louis kicking ass and taking names like always.
You know how to get a hold of me.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Well, brother, thank you so much. Two last bits of business before you go. Number one, man, welcome in. As the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family here for episode 393. And number two, man, where can people catch up with you on social? And more importantly, where can they see you do your thing next?
Sure. Social, just Luke Langley on Facebook. I'm not hiding anywhere there. Twitter and Instagram, it's the same. It's at Luke Langley MD. A couple upcoming shows. My next show is actually going to be Sunday, May 15th, down in Wichita, Kansas. World Class and several other companies are collaborating. We're doing a tribute show for Jermaine Johnson, who was a really dear friend of mine who recently passed due to early heart failure. If I can put the brakes on just a second, I can't put over Jermaine enough. Other than Graham and Mike Seidel, he's one of the 3 most important people in my wrestling journey. When I talked about getting around people who are better than you, he was one of the first guys that me and Graham got to be around, who got to really recalibrate the way we thought about wrestling and the way we approached it. So he will be really deeply missed, obviously by his wife and his children that he leaves behind, but by anyone who knew him as a wrestler and as a friend. So we love you, Jermaine, and I'm excited to be a part of that tribute show that we're doing for him on, again, May 15th in Wichita. Beyond that, May 21st, World Class, North Richland Hills. I'll be tagging with Graham for the first time in quite some time. And
that question came up earlier about whether or not you guys would, and there it was. Will we see you guys working together ever again? I think that's a great question.
Yes, we will. We will in just a couple of weeks in North Richland Hills, Texas, for World Class. The end of the month, Journey Pro Wrestling just announced their next show, May 27th. That's a Friday, back there at Agnes. After that, I'll be down in Tulsa for Wrestling for a Cause, defending my heavyweight championship there against this young cat named Tommy Dean, and I'm expecting it to get pretty violent there on May 28th. And in June, a couple shows lined up, but the one I'm really looking forward to is in Springfield, Missouri, for Mid-States Wrestling. I will be defending
Shout out to the Space Cowboy and those guys out there killing shit out there. You're the heavyweight champ for MSW, aren't you?
I am. I won it a few months ago from Gary Roosevelt Graham. Shout out to this fun trivia while we're talking about it. Space Cowboy Jason Jones is the first man to ever book Luke Langley on June 4th, 2011 in Harrison, Arkansas.
Wow.
So getting to win their championship is a kind of a cool full circle moment for me. And I actually had my 4th ever match against Gary back in 2011. So that was a cool moment there. But back to the matter at hand, June 25th, Springfield, Missouri, Mid-States Wrestling. A rematch of the Mid-States Wrestling 2021 Match of the Year, Luke Langley versus Colton Theron Vaught. And this time it's for the belt. So that's what I'm training my ass off for.
That's driving distance for me. So
yeah, you won't want to miss it.
I know. Absolutely. Jason's been telling me for years, get your ass down here. Dick Douglas, any final thoughts for the Smoking Ace?
Man, thanks for taking the time. I know it's a busy, it's a little bit more difficult, especially as the night goes on, to take the time out of your day. So really appreciate it. Really appreciate the thoughts and kind of give me a little bit of advice so I could ask a question for the fans, but really for me, so I really appreciate that. And look forward to speaking with you in the future. And thank you so much for tonight. And I hope that you keep kicking ass and taking names. And it's time for everyone to start really falling in line, I think.
That's the plan, man.
And on a personal note, Luke, keep killing shit for Killer City. All right, bro? Hats off. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smoking Ace, Luke Langley. And let me just say, what an honor it is to see somebody progress through their career and get to a point where they develop that level of confidence.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not so sure if we would have booked this interview even 3, 5, 6 years ago that we would have gotten the kind of insight that we got from Luke Langley. What an incredible person, worker, a guy that's earned respect the old-fashioned way by doing the work, doing the drives, and continuing to get better every single time, bro. What a privilege it is to interview guys like him and Tyler Bodine. Would you agree with that?
Oh, God, yes. I'm sorry I got invaded here, but, little dog always takes priority. We had a great show tonight, Renee, with Tyler and Luke both, but to have their insight, have their knowledge, we gave something to the podcast tonight that I think is one that we're going to have to replicate and then some, because, man, how great was this tonight? 2 great minds, 2 great talents, and both, again, eyes to keep out for them in the near future.
No doubt. And it would have been even better if y'all could have jammed out with me with some of the damn music that I was playing. We're going to continue to work on that, guys.
It will. Work in progress.
Standpoint. Absolutely. Well, I can only say this. Tonight was an absolute pleasure for me, sir. You didn't show up on time, but you definitely delivered. Maybe it's just your thing to make a spectacular entrance and a great outro with that beautiful pup sitting on your lap. You got to tell us what the name is.
Oh, this is Mally. He's one of my buddies. I'm a dog lover. There you go. There's your non-Dick Douglas thought process today. I'm a big dog guy, so anytime I see a dog, I pick him up and I especially.
Did I accuse you of being a cat guy earlier in the show?
Yeah, you did. That's why I got pissed. You know,
Okay,
I mean,
my
if we're going
bad,
to talk
my
about my
bad.
escapades outside of, you know, what we do on camera, then maybe I'm a cat guy. But, you know,
You're a bad man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the president of professional wrestling, a man starting a revolution to save the sport that we all know and love, Richard Douglas, I am the Night Owl. We will catch you guys next week for episode 394 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. All things Wrestle Talk Podcast available to you 24/7 over at, you got to know this, right? What's our website? Come on, Douglas. Put you on the spot.
WrestleTalkPodcast.com.
Boom, baby. You guys have a good night.